Hello everyone, welcome back. In our today's video, we are going to be continuing with the chapter Nutrition and Health. And in our today's lecture, we are going to be focusing mainly on the topic food adulteration. Food adulteration is defined as the addition or subtraction of any substance from food so that the natural composition and the quality of food substance is affected. Food adulteration is basically done in order to increase the quantity of the food and not the quality of the food. So, any material which is used for the purpose of adulteration is known as adulterant. So, some of the common adulterated food are milk, milk products, cereals, pulses, coffee powder, tea powder, turmeric powder, saffron, confectionery, non alcoholic beverages, spices, edible oils, poultry products, and so on. Now, let's take a look at the different types of adulterants. So, adulterants are divided into three as natural adulterants, incidental or unintentionally added adulterants, and intentionally added adulterants. Now let's take a look at each of this in detail. The first one that we are going to be discussing is the natural adulterant. Natural adulterant are those chemicals or organic compounds that are naturally present in a food. Now let's take a look at some of the examples of natural adulterants. The first one is the seeds of the apple. The seeds of the apple consist of a chemical which is known as prussic acid, and this prussic acid is actually toxic and it can even lead to a death of an individual if overconsumed. Then the next one is the toxic substance which are present in certain poisonous mushrooms. The third natural adulterants are the marine toxins. Marine toxins are chemicals and bacteria that can contaminate certain types of seafood. So eating this type of seafood may result in foodborne illness, but then these seafood may look, smell and taste normal. Marine toxin poisoning occurs most often during the summer. Now let's move on to the next adulterant, which is incidental or unintentionally added adulterants. So incidental adulterants are added unknowingly due to ignorance or carelessness during food handling and packaging. So incidental adulterants include pesticide residues. So what is this pesticide residues? Pesticide residues refers to the pesticides that may remain in food after they are applied to the crops. So there could be some amount of pesticides which get retained onto the crops even when it has reached our plate. And this is something which is happening because of carelessness and it is dangerous for us. The next incidental adulterant example is droppings of rodents and insects on food during storage. So, if the food is going to be stored at a particular place, then there are a lot of possibilities for rodents and insects to feed on the food which is getting stored. And when it is feeding on the food, there are a lot of possibilities for the rodents to even leave its dropping onto the food. And this kind of adulterant can cause a lot of problems when we consume this type of food. The next example is microbial contamination caused due to the presence of pathogens in fruits and vegetables. Microbial contamination can affect human beings by causing a lot of diseases. Now let's move on to the next adulterant, which is intentionally added adulterants. This is something which is very dangerous and it affects human health drastically. Intentionally added adulterants are added for financial gain and it is going to have a serious impact on the health of the consumers. So, some of the intentionally added adulterants are additives and preservatives like vinegar, citric acid, sodium bicarbonate, hydrogen peroxide in milk, modified food starch, food flavors, and synthetic preservatives and artificial sweeteners. Chemicals like calcium carbide are used to hasten the ripening process of bananas and mangoes. The next intentionally added adulterant are use of non-certified food colors like metallic lead. Non-certified food colors are added to vegetables in order to make it look much more fresher. And adding something artificial to the food that we consume is not safe at all and it is going to lead to a lot of trouble in the near future. Edible synthetic wax are also used as adulterants. Edible synthetic wax like shellac are used to coat over fruits like apples and pears. By doing this, the fruits are going to be looking much more shinier in appearance, which makes it very appealing for the consumers. There is one very important quote that all of us need to remember while eating, and that is listen to your stomach and not to your eyes. One of the major reasons behind food adulteration is that we all need food which looks nice, bright, and shine. And in order to achieve that, there are a lot of synthetic substances which are added to the food. It is very important for each and every one of us to choose food healthier and not the food which is looking much more nice, bright, and appealing. Now let's do some very simple and interesting activities in order to understand better about adulteration. Now for our first experiment, I have taken two samples of honey, okay, and I've marked it as A and B. And also for this simple experiment, you will need a candle and two wicks. Now let's take a look at how to find out which one is the real honey and which one is the adulterated honey. So I've lit the candle now. What I'm going to be first doing is I'm taking a wick and I'm dipping it onto sample A. So I hope you are able to see this. I have dipped the wick in sample A. When I show sample A onto the flame, the wick actually burns. Okay. Now I'm going to be dipping the wick onto sample B. So I have dipped the wick in sample B. Now let's burn this and see what happens. So I hope you are able to observe that this wick is actually not burning, okay, but then when I show it onto the flame, it's giving a crackling sound, okay. So now let's move on to the conclusion. So when I showed sample A onto the flame, the sample A burnt, but then when I showed sample B onto the flame, it didn't burn at all. So pure honey, when lit, it burns. But then honey which is adulterated does not burn even when it is lit. Alright, so in this experiment, sample A contains the pure honey and sample B contains the adulterated honey. So what actually I have done to adulterate this is I have added some amount of sugar solution. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this activity. Now let's move on to the next activity. So for activity 2, I've got some coffee powder with me and I've got a clear glass of water with me. So now let's check whether this coffee powder is adulterated or not. So what I'm going to be doing is, I'm going to be taking some amount of coffee powder. I'm going to sprinkle this coffee powder onto this glass of water. Okay. So let's see what happens. So how do you identify if it is adulterated or not? So if you watch this closely, some amount of coffee powder is floating on the top of the water surface and the remaining coffee powder is actually settling onto the bottom of the glass. So if it is a pure coffee powder, it will only be floating on the surface of the water and it will not settle down. So when will the coffee powder settle down? If it is adulterated with tamarind powder, then in that situation it will settle down, as you can see here at the bottom of the glass. So for our last activity, I've got two samples of milk with me and I've marked it as A and B. So let's check which sample of milk is pure and which one is adulterated. So I've just taken a plate to complete this experiment. You can take any polished surface which you want. And I have taken a drop of milk from sample A and sample B and I've placed it onto the polished surface. Now let's check which sample is adulterated and which is the pure one. Now I'm going to be leaving the plate in a slanting position. So if you see, the milk which is adulterated will flow down fastly when compared to the milk which is not adulterated. What I've done is I have adulterated sample A using water. So sample B is actually the milk which is not adulterated. I have used pure milk without mixing any amount of water. So sample A is the adulterated milk and sample B is the unadulterated or the pure milk. So I hope you enjoyed the activities. You can also try to do such activities using a lot of various things which you have at home. But then it is always safe to be under your parents' supervision while you're doing all such activities. Now we are going to be moving on to the most important part of the lecture, which is health effects of adulterated food. So if a person is going to consume adulterated food, then it could lead to fever, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, gastrointestinal disorders, asthma, allergy, neurological disorders, skin allergies, immune suppression, kidney and liver failure, colon cancer, and it could even lead to birth defects. So, consumption of adulterated food is not at all good for your health. Now, let's take a look at what are the measures which has been taken by the government in order to reduce the adulterated food. In 1954, the Indian government enacted the food law known as Prevention of Food Adulteration Act and Prevention of Food Adulteration Rules in 1955 with the objective of ensuring pure and wholesome food to the consumers and protect them from fraudulent trade practices. FCI Food Corporation of India was set up in the year 1965 with the following objectives: effective price support operation for safeguarding the interest of farmers, distributing food grains throughout the country, maintaining satisfactory levels of operational and buffer stock of food grains to ensure national security, to regulate the market price to provide food grains to consumers at reliable price. Now let's take a look at the food quality control agencies. The first one is ISI. Indian Standard Institution certifies industrial products like electrical appliances like switches, wiring cables, water heaters, electric motors, kitchen appliances, etc. The next one is AGMARK, Agricultural Marking. Agricultural marking certifies agricultural and livestock products like cereals, essential oils, pulses, honey, butter, etc. The next agency is the Fruit Processing Order. Fruit Processing Order certifies fruit products like juice, jams, sauce, canned fruits, vegetables, and pickles. Now let's move on to the next one, which is the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, the FSSAI. The FSSAI is responsible for protecting and promoting the public health through regulations and supervision of food safety. So I hope you understood about adulteration. So if you have any doubts, you can leave that in the comment section below. Thank you.